Yeah, that's probably the one type of goal I've been missing, but no, I saved it for the right time. Being so close to win the league now, I think it's one win away now, very close, and to do, especially with fans here as well, is a very, very special moment.
Alexis, you just stood there with a big grin on your face, which I guess tells us a lot.
Yeah, of course, really happy, not just for the team, but for Trent. He's been working really, really hard to come back. So this is a present for him. I hope he can enjoy it with these amazing fans. I'm pretty sure he deserves it.
What did it mean to have, well, a couple of moments actually with the Liverpool fans as you charged towards them when you scored? And I just noticed at the end there, I think it was Virgil just shoved you forward to take the applause.
Yeah, of course. I think he's pushed me to the front to soak it in, get up close and personal. The way fans are always amazing. The fans have been outstanding again this season. They pushed us every game until the final minutes, and they've done that again today, and they've helped us win the game. You can still hear them now all there celebrating. As much as we do it for ourselves and do it for our families, we do it for the fans as well. They're the ones that travel to games, spend the money to come watch us play, so at the least they deserve is to see us give 100% on the pitch and win games, and to be so close to sealing for some of us a second league title, and for a lot of us a first league title, but especially in front of fans, which is what we've been missing, is very special.
Listen, there's one more burning question. You know it's coming. I don't know if you can give an answer. How many special moments left for you in the Liverpool shirt?
Look, obviously, like I've said all season, I'm not going to speak on my situation. I'm not going to go into details, but these days like today are always special. Scoring goals, playing, winning games, being close to winning titles as well, being in title races. The special moments that will live with me forever, and I'm glad to be a part of them.
Well said. Can you do one more job for us? Player of the match, Alexis.
I don't know if I deserve it, but the most important thing is the win and that this guy scored.
Well said.
Thank you.
Alexis McAllister and Trent Alexander-Arnold. In a way, that interview was a lot like the game itself. We had to wait a long time for the goal. We were waiting for the Patrick Davison question to Trent Alexander-Arnold. We could have predicted, really, what the tone of the answer would be, but he had to ask it. Did we get any clues from the answer at all?
Not really, but I felt more an edge throughout that interview than I did the game, actually. Listen, he hasn't really spoken all season, which... Listen, we're getting to that stage of the season where he's got to, be speaking to the club in terms of what he is doing one way or another, whether a decision has already been made. I think most people feel that it has, so it's probably as difficult for him to give an honest answer if that decision has been made. But I think the frustration from the Liverpool supporters throughout this process is that at least with sort of Salah and Van Dijk, even though they've been coming out and speaking, and he was critical of Mo Salah early in the season about coming out about his own situation, but it was always on the remit that they wanted to stay. So I think that probably tells you having the situation with Trent being a local boy this season, getting the interview at the end, and we'll find out. There's only a few weeks to go, but I think most of us probably know what's going to happen.
Great moment, though, for Trent Alexander-Arnold as Liverpool move to within 3 points of the Premier League title. We'll reflect on that, and we'll reflect on Leicester's relegation. Just to round up what's been happening elsewhere today, Fulham are 1-0 up, but an injury time winner from Pedro Neto earned all 3 points for Chelsea, takes them back into the automatic Champions League spots. Manchester United beaten 1-0 at home by Wolves. Pablo Sarabia on target for Wolves, and that means they are officially safe, and they move level on points with Manchester United. Earlier today, Arsenal with a 4-0 win at 10-man Ipswich. Remember, you can see highlights of all today's games, including the goals, of course, on the Sky Sports app, and the quickest way to get there is to scan the QR code that you can see on your screen right now. And here is the table. Liverpool within 3 points of a Premier League title. Arsenal may have something to say about it. They play against Crystal Palace on Wednesday, and if Crystal Palace get the win, the title will be Liverpool's. Otherwise, it goes to the game against Tottenham next weekend, where Liverpool will have to win in order to seal the title. Chelsea move into the Champions League places. Nottingham Forest go into their game against Tottenham tomorrow night in 6th place. They are out of those Champions League spots. Meanwhile, down at the other end, we already knew that Southampton were relegated. Leicester have joined them. They had to win against the champions-elect in order to keep their season going for a little bit longer. It's almost done for Ipswich, and that's because of the big goal difference. They can get there in terms of their points total, but that goal difference could well see them suffer. West Ham just outside the bottom three. Wolves move up into 15th. They're level on points with Manchester United and Everton as things stand.
Some of the fans, as I said earlier, are not happy about that, wanting him to stay, sign a contract so maybe the club could get money. That's kind of complicated. It's just, that was fun to see. It wasn't the best knee slide I've ever seen, but the throwing the shirt off and going over and tensing himself up, that was like interesting. We haven't seen that, and there must be so much emotion going on in this kid's head because he's been brilliant for the club. But it looks like he's going to be leaving.
It might be all of that. It might be all of that emotion. And by the way, for all that was just said, he loves Liverpool Football Club. Of course, he loves it. Of course. And so all of that emotion, he's human. These players are human, and all that emotion is pent up, and he probably was giving them a bit back, and they've given him some, but he loves his football club. So great reaction.
What do you make of this one overall? Because Liverpool, you said it at halftime too, Robbie. It's a cat playing with a mouse before it eats it. It seemed like playing with their food a little bit in this one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the second half was better. I thought there's a little bit more energy from Liverpool. We saw it in the last game where they want to win games. They want to win every game going on, and they'll have a little bit of a rally up and turn up the pace a little bit and find ways to win, which they did again today. So substitutions were made. It wasn't great games for many of their players, but they have got a good squad. Others came into the game and had a decent impact in the match as well. Everybody seemed to be healthy and fit. I think just Joe Gomez injured right now. They win again. The fans enjoy that. We see the scenes afterwards of the players going over. So it's all good. It's all good. It's just like the first half was like, we know there's so much more in Liverpool, but we did see a bit more in the second half.
I thought there'd be more goals in the game. We said there'd be goals in the second half. They ended up getting a breakthrough. To be fair, at times it looked like a training session for Liverpool. They bopped it around. You and I were talking off camera. There was a spell in there, probably right before the disallowed goal, where Leicester were good. They were charging around. There was energy. And I think it's a cautionary tale for these teams that go down. It's like, that has to be the bare minimum. You've got to work your socks off as a team who's just come up from the championship. I haven't seen enough of that from Leicester.
Perhaps we'll learn a little bit more about that celebration for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Here he is after the match, just moments ago, with McAllister's.
Welcome back. So 0-0 between Leicester and Liverpool at half-time. Not the straightforward walk in the park perhaps some Liverpool fans might have thought, John.
Well, Leicester are putting up a much better fight than Ipswich did. You know, Tony talked about being on the front foot, being aggressive, getting forward, being brave, and that's what they've done. Liverpool still had enough chances to have been ahead, but Leicester are making it difficult for them. And I said at the start, or I felt at the start, had the game gone the other way against Ipswich, then I think we'd have seen a different Liverpool performance. As much as if we won today, we will win the league. And the fact that we're not winning today, even winning today is not going to make us win the league. It's not been the greatest of performances. I think had Ipswich got a point or one, I think we would have seen a different Liverpool performance.
Interesting. That said, as John says, Michael, there have been chances. Woodwork hit at both ends. In fact, Mo Salah managed to do it twice in one go.
Yeah, this is his best chance as well, Steve. He's had a few chances, but I think this is his easiest one. He normally laps these up. One thing I think he does wrong is he slides it along the floor. And when a goalkeeper spreads and puts their legs out like that, then you've got to be really accurate. If you just lift it, like literally a foot, then you give yourself so much more. See, his foot nearly touches that, the goalkeeper. It's actually so precise what he's done. Doesn't need to be that precise. If he lifts it, he gets an extra 2 or 3 foot that he can target, into the side netting. So I think that's where he went wrong there. Just a little, just that far off the floor, and he makes the finish so much easier for himself.
We know they haven't scored Leicester for the last 8 games at home, but they managed to hit Woodwork as well. They've had their occasional moments.
Yeah, they've got a good shape. They've come out, they're fighting. And they've got a good opportunity here, and they've hit the post. But I'd like them to see them kicking it a little bit more, just to relieve the pressure. They have rode their luck. We've seen the chances that Salah's had. But there's a great opportunity there. You're going to get opportunities. If you keep in this game and you keep tight, and like I said, they've got a very good shape, then you never know.
Instead of keeping it at 0-0 for as long as possible, and they've done that, so that's why they're still in the game. Had Liverpool gone 1-0 up in the first 20, I could see it going the way Ipswich game went. But as long as it stays 0-0, as much as I still think in the second half Liverpool will come on, it's going to be more difficult.
You said that was Mo Salah's best chance. He's had 2 or 3 other ones. Let's have a look at those and see how you feel he could have done here.
Yeah, It's quite safe. I think the fullback actually does well. Just jumping in front of someone when you're about to strike it like that doesn't half put you off. You know, if I was a defender, you know, even if you're beaten, even if you can't get to it, still jump. It doesn't half put the attacker off, and that ended up being a little bit safe. This one he goes with his laces, John, and I don't know. I prefer, because I still think you can get enough power side foot there, but I don't know how you'd do it.
Well, he did the side foot one in the first time when he probably should have done with his laces. On this one, with the player being in front of him, I think this is, if he needed to side foot it around him, that probably was the opportunity rather than the first one.
Yeah. And then this one, I mean, when I first saw it, I thought, can he dive with his head? That would have made it far easier, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt and say it might have been a little bit too far in front of him. It's on his weak foot, he's stretching. It's not the easiest. It's not the easiest at all. It's pretty high for a volley, as I say. The best case scenario there is if you can just get in front and dive and header it. Exactly. That's what my original thought process was, but only he'll know if that was a possibility.
Well, I mean, I thought it was a little bit too far in front of him, and if you're going to side foot it, you have to cushion it.
Yeah.
Because it came in, there so much pace on it. If you don't cushion it, it's just going to go over.
Kill speed, you kill height. That's always the case. People think that they've got to strike it into the back of the net all the time.
Just cushion it.
Soft. Just take your leg away as it's going to come and hit you, and it negates the ball going over the bar a lot of the time. But that might be a bad example of it. But a lot of the time, people hit the ball over because they try to hit it too hard into the net when you should be taking pace off a lot of the time. Less is more.
Oh, it could be today until they're crowned champions, and of course on that final day he will lift the Premier League trophy. So who better in that position to rate Virgil van Dijk? 2 more years, that'll take him to 9.5 in the Premier League.
Brilliant.
At Liverpool. Where does he rank for you, Tony?
The first thing is when I saw him 4 or 5 years ago collecting the PFA Player of the Year, I looked at him and I went like that. My God, what a man mountain, you know. He's absolutely awesome as a physical. His probably best attribute is his physical, contact. And of that, he's put on he does interceptions now, and his pace is quick for a big guy as well. So he's right up there. But it's about a team, to be honest with you. I've really enjoyed watching Robertson having a better season than he's had in previous years, and Connor. But just talking about, he's got it all. He's got it all. He really has. Like I said, he's getting more experienced, which made him. Because in the past, my criticism for him, I think I did it on the show back in the day with you guys, that sometimes he wasn't reading the game. He was relying on his physical kind of manpower to be aggressive with the forwards. But he's put him, with his experience, he's come a little bit of a reading of the game and the situations now. So it's all about partnerships for me, and Gravenberch in front of him, I always say I'm only as good as the people around me and stuff, but I played some of my best football in my 30s, and it seems like he is, and he's Liverpool for life.
John, you've seen an awful lot of him. It'll take him to nearly 10 years at the club, which you know firsthand what it's like to do that at Liverpool, and how hard it is to stay at the top and do that at Liverpool.
You talk about best centre-backs, and you try and cross over from the Premier League to the First Division, the glory years in the First Division, and I put him alongside Alan Hansen.
Wow.
Of course you can go back and look at the centre-backs in the 70s and the team in the 70s, and you've got great Mark Lawrence and Tommy Smith, but when you talk about the best players, in my opinion, the best centre-backs, I put him and Hansen alongside each other. I think Alan Hansen was fantastic, but he's been incredible. He's been incredible. After his injury a couple of years ago, people thought, was he the same? But he reads the game well. He's strong. He's physical. He could have played when we played playing against us. Tony will tell you, Billy Whitehurst and Mick Harford and people like that. But he also plays against modern players because he reads the game very well as well. So and I think that if we had to sign any of the three, I think he was the most important one.
Really?
Short term. Obviously, as we move along, you may look in other positions, but I think for next year and possibly the year after, I think more than Mo and Trent, he was the one that we needed to tie down.
Wow. Does he tick every single box for you, Michael?
Oh, yeah. I've sat on this in this chair before and said what I think of him. He's as good as I've ever seen, I think. I don't see any weakness in his game at all. A couple of little mistakes here. He might, but look how he recovers. His pace, his strength. He just shrugs people off. He's too big, too strong, too good, really. And you know what? In this team, it's not like he's getting loads and loads of help. Over the years, he's had fullbacks that have been, playing like wingers really. He's had to stand there at the back on his own with maybe just another centre half, okay, a sitting midfielder in front of him. But he doesn't have it easy. He's not in one of these teams that sits back and just defends the edge of his box and nods it out all the time. I mean, he defends the hard way. He reads the game well, as Tony said. That experience now. The injury was a big question mark, because that's a big injury. And he's come back as absolutely right as rain. He's brand new. So, no, that was a huge signing. I mean, John saying he's a bigger, maybe more important than Mo is an interesting one, because obviously...
Because you're going to disagree with the goal scorer, Hassel.
Well, no, I mean, you know what I think of this fella? I think he's absolutely off the scale good, and he almost allows Liverpool to play how they play. But scoring goals, I mean, without Mo Salah, they were far more important.
But what I just while this is on, this might come into your argument as well. Salah's that's 340. He's the only player to play every single second in the Premier League for Liverpool this season. He's so durable, John.
Not only durable, we've needed him, because of course when anyone plays alongside him, be it Konate, be it Konsa, he actually brings them on, and you can see when he's not there what that actually brings. Why I say he's the most important one to keep is because of course Mo is incredible, but then when you got Jota, Diaz, you got other people who can score goals. I don't think if Mo doesn't play, we're not going to score goals, but I think if he doesn't play, we're not going to win matches. So I think in terms of the importance, I think because we haven't really got anyone there to actually replace him, and you're not going to replace Mo, but I still think we have enough attacking options to still be okay in that position.
And he scores goals as well. That's 1 in 14. It's my record, actually. I was 1 in 14.
Not that left and half on
27
he
goals.
Never came through and scored against Everton with the half and half.
Yet. He's still got time. He's got another 2 years now. Right?
He might get a statue, you don't know. I want to ask you this, because Arne was really interesting this week when he was asked about Virgil van Dijk. He said in his coaching and managerial career, he has never come across one player at a training ground and stadium with so much leadership influence that Virgil van Dijk has on Liverpool.
You don't see that side of him. Obviously, we only see him on the pitch, but it's really encouraging for a manager to say that, and it's...
Without making you blush with your suntan, your former teammates used to say exactly the same about you in that Arsenal dressing room and training ground, so...
Thank you. It's important, Michael said and John has both said that when you need to lead, you need people, those characters in your dressing room that are there on time, leading it every single game. And it's hard when the team's not doing so well, but it's so important that you've got that consistency. And